Hello, Megan.
Hello, Michelle.
Welcome to Spicy Brain Podcast. Where we are navigating neurodiversity with curiosity, joy, and
A radical acceptance. High kick.
So welcome, everyone. If you're new to our podcast, we are so happy that you're joining us. And for those of you returning, we're so happy for you to be back with us. We love talking about our neurospicy brains, and we usually kind of start with a story. We dig into one of our brains we've learned over time to find out what's going on. And then we like to think of strategies and reach out to our community for help with that as well. So, all right, Megan, you requested to go back to the last topic for a minute, which was a little bit about anxiety. And you kind of spent the week, I think, sort of processing that episode as you were kind of listening to it again, I imagine. And I'm curious sort of what you came to, because you said sort of came to some conclusions.
Yeah. So a couple of things. The wallet.
Oh,
Whenever...
yes.
Let's start there, because
So can you just explain, like, the wallet is like a thing for you?
Yeah, the wallet is a thing for me. I always forget my wallet, 100%. I'm always gonna and I'm always pinging myself, trying to remember, where is it? Did I bring it? Because you need it for like your driver's license and then to get on base and to do a bunch of like you have from paying anything. So now I wear my wallet around my neck, and I realized as I was like driving to work each day, I was like, oh my gosh, I get this like pit in my stomach. And then I'm driving, get the pit in my stomach, and then I instantly take my hand and I'm just like, push it on my, like, do I have my wallet? Okay, I do. Or can I feel it on me? And then I have a thing called a CAC, which is the way you get on, it's like your ID for base. And so I thought like, oh gosh, should I forget that? Because that's the only way I can get on base. And so I had to like feel on my wallet on the side where I knew it was. And I was like, okay, it's there. Okay, it's fine. And then I was totally okay. But I got that pit in my stomach first. And then I instantly was like, I have to check.
And does the pit go away once you feel it? Is it like,
yes.
Oh, that's there and that's
it does.
Okay. And part of what we were talking about was this book, Your Brain is Not Broken by
Tamara Rosier, PhD.
Oh, yes. And what we were talking about last time was this idea of anxiety being used as a way to remember things, that people with ADHD actually somehow, maybe like you don't have the butler, so the anxiety is the reminder.
Right.
And is that pit? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, there's like a pit in my stomach of like, ugh. I think we talked last time about being just sort of sucker punched or startled. It's like the that pit in my stomach is like the that's whatever that sound is.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do I have it? Right?
Yeah. It's like, because if I don't, the thing is like in that moment, that one little moment is, oh my gosh, I don't have it. I can't get on base. I'm going to go to jail. That's what's all happening now.
Go to jail. Everything ends in jail with you. Jail or the bathroom. It's like one of the two. Okay.
But then there's also another pit in my stomach that doesn't really go away, which is in the morning when I'm trying to get out of bed.
Oh.
And I found this so fascinating today, Michelle, because you and I set an appointment to meet at 10 o'clock. Well, I set the appointment at midnight while you were sleeping.
Yeah. I woke up this morning. I'm like, oh, we're doing this at 10. Okay.
And so I woke up around 9, and I instantly remembered that we had to meet at 10. And as soon as I realized like how much time I had, I got that pit in my stomach. And it has nothing to do with not like I wanted to be here. I wanted to talk to you. It has nothing to do with like how much I enjoy it. It's just that like this, I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to figure this out while I was getting ready. And I was like, why did I get a pit in my stomach for 10 a.m.?
Interesting.
The only thing I can connect to is the fact that I feel this way for all appointments. That
interesting.
The reason I rarely make appointments with friends and I struggle with it, it's a very difficult thing for me, is this pit in my stomach that I don't want to get. And I have not been able to really figure it out, but it's there and it's real. And I'm realizing like, oh, that's probably why people sometimes think I'm antisocial. Not because I'm not, like, I'm totally a social person, but just like having to be somewhere at a very specific time sends me into a deep anxiety induced pit within my tummy.
Like, let's dig into this a little bit though, because our topic for today is about procrastination. And I think the point in her book is that everybody procrastinates things, but people with ADHD specifically put things off in order to, because they think that there's like this magical time that they're going to all of a sudden feel like doing it, which I think is a little different than what you're talking about. But I do feel like there's some connection here with like procrastination, maybe that I don't know. I'm not sure yet what it is. But anyway, I think this is an interesting one because I do think there's this idea, though, that I actually identify with a lot, which is like when we're getting ready for this thing, I will put off till right before, like getting the setup ready. Like I'm still getting things ready while we're getting ready to go. And I think I would feel much less anxious if I just set it up. So this morning I tried to get everything done before we were meeting, but I still didn't get the sound stuff done. Like I have a certain set of things I do. I still didn't do that. And it is interesting. And it was like a little bit, it wasn't terrible, but I kind of make this little like cocoony box around me for the sound because my room is, an echo chamber, and that helps you when you're editing and all of that. But I still didn't like finish it. So anyway, I think maybe there's something in my brain too around this procrastination, because procrastination was like a huge thing for me when I was a kid. Like I remember procrastinating, doing papers and all these types of things that like somehow at the end you're going to do so much better. Like I hear kids say this all the time too, my students. Like I'm just better when I wait till the last minute. Right?
Can I tell you, I need to have a little rant about that really quickly.
Yes.
Because I am not that way. And it drove me crazy. My roommate in college, her and I could do the exact same paper because we were in the exact same class. And I can't wait till the very end. If I wait to the very end to do a paper, I will not get it done. It's just, I can't procrastinate on something like that. So her and I work on it for like months. I think I even came over to your house at one point, was working on it at your house. And she does it the night before, gets a B, and I get a C. And I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? I have been working my tail, because the thing is, I know like if I wait till the very last minute, my brain will completely shut down when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I cannot procrastinate like that.
Right. It's interesting. I mean, I think when she's talking about it in the book, what I got from it was, I think there are things we know we can procrastinate, and we say to ourselves, oh, I'm better at this when I procrastinate it. And I mean, I think there's things in our lives that like, we probably know we don't have that capability or that skill level to do, but the things that you're like, no, this is pretty easy for me, but I'm just going to on purpose wait till the last minute because I'm going to feel like I really want to do it later, or you tell yourself this idea that you're better when you're under the gun. You're better when you're rushed, right? And the research does not hold true for this from her perspective, from what she wrote. It's actually like when you do that, your roommate probably would have gotten an A.
That's true.
Right? So it's like, yes, can you do it? Yes. Is it going to be your best work? No.
Wait, so Tamara says that ADHD people wait because they know that they're better under the gun?
They'll tell themselves that.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. Like for certain okay, I'm going to guess there's something in your life that this is true for. It just might not be paper writing. Right.
Well, okay. I just need to get the thing out of my brain that I was thinking about, and then we can try to probably figure out the other one. Yeah. But I'm sorry, Michelle, I got to take it back to the bathroom.
Okay.
Because this morning I was like laying in bed and I was just so happy. And there was a puppy snuggled up next to me. And I'm just like, I know I got to pee. But I was so happy. And I was like, it's okay. I'm fine, because I know that my my body will tell me when I have to finally pee.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't have to like I know I have to, but like it's not that bad yet. And it'll tell me when it's ready, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
And how easy would it be just to like stand up and go and use the restroom? But the idea of standing up feels like it's going to rip apart all of this beautiful, quiet, happy, cozy moment, and nothing will ever be the same again, and I can't get back to that. So it's like, yes, it's a very easy thing, but it will ruin everything.
Everyone's going to be up and moving. Yeah. I think that's using like anxiety, because I mean it's physical, right? But it's like using some sort of tool to help you do something, to get something started. And you're using procrastination to do that. I mean, you are procrastinating it, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing is like, if you're procrastinating it and you're waiting to the last minute to say like, hey, I do better under the gun, you're using anxiety to get that done.
Right. But I mean, okay. I think you're like trying to connect two things that I don't think are really connected. Like your physiological, like you poop better is like, are you really rating yourself? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, are you like, oh, I'm a better peer? I mean, I don't think that's the same. It's like a star system. Well, that was the best pee I've ever had. Like, what do you know? I'm talking about like you're like, oh, I'm so much better at getting these slides done for work when I'm under the gun, right? Like I'm going to wait to do that because I know I'll feel like doing it tomorrow, or I'm so much better when I don't give myself a bunch of time.
I understand it from the sense of I don't feel like it, and I know, like, I can imagine a moment where I will.
Yes.
That, like, rules my life.
And she says that's bullshit.
But I need to finish my conversation real quickly. I need to finish my sentence so that I'm going to forget.
Yes.
I've already forgotten.
The ruling of your life is like, there is a magical time when I'm going to feel like doing this.
Yeah. No, I can always picture... I always like it's like I picture this moment like when it all is going to work out and it's going to be great. I never think like I work well under pressure. I know that I am not well under pressure.
That's not you. That's not a you thing.
No, that is not my level of spicy.
Yeah. I think that's mine. I think mine was more like that.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are people who that's their thing, right? Like,
yeah.
And I always thought, because I could focus more, right? I felt like, I focus when I'm under the gun better. Mm-hmm.
I do not focus well when I'm under the gun.
Yeah.
This is why.
But you do think there's a magical time, so that part you relate to.
Yeah, but this is also why I think, like, having a timeline where it comes, like, I have to come meet you at 10 o'clock, it stresses me out, actually. Because I don't feel like I do well under the gun. I don't. It's okay. That's the thing. I don't say that to myself. That's not the phrase that's being said in my head. Now that might be the actual outcome that's happening. That might be like what is happening, right? Where like I'm waiting until 15 minutes before I have to get my entire self ready to go, and then I have to go move quickly. But those aren't the words I'm saying to myself in order to get me there.
So let's dig in a little bit to this like time thing, because I think that actually impacts your life with people that you want to see. Yeah. So you get this like visceral like pit in your stomach worry about meeting me at 10.
Yes.
And if it's like, if we said 10 or 10:15, would you get the same pit in your stomach?
Not as much.
Okay. So if there's like a window of like, we're going to start, because we really didn't start till 10:20. Now, part of that was me.
Yeah.
But, you gave me the link around 10:05. Like, it still wasn't 10, right? But is that, I don't know. That's interesting.
Well, I don't really know this one as well. But what I will say is, how I always would say like, hey, I don't know what brain I'm going to wake up with. Like I can plan for a time once I've woken up. Because once I've woken up, I know, okay, I need a couple hours to kind of get ready. And then, but like, like I slept terribly last night. I don't know what happened, but like I've been wearing my watch to bed, and I can see like when it says I'm awake. And I was awake, like I woke up like probably 5 or 6 times last night. I don't remember waking up, and I woke up and I was really exhausted. And so the idea of like, I gave myself an hour because I'm like, I don't need more than an hour to get ready when it's, I'm going to go eat after you and I talk, and I had this all figured out. But the thing is, like, I woke up at 9 and my brain and my body just were not the body I went to bed with. That's always really challenging for me, because it's like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I'm probably going off topic too, so I apologize.
No, it's interesting though, because I was curious about, like you get up and go to work, right? So now, and so that's different for you because it's a routine maybe, or it's like, this is what I have to do versus like, this is my day off and now I'm having to adjust, or I don't know. I'm interested.
Yeah, the day off is hard. Like, and I know that research shows that you want to have the same schedule even on the weekends. And so I'm working my way to that. The challenge we had this week was that we dropped off Emma at the airport at like 5 a.m. So it kind of threw everything off. I don't know. Like, I mean, work is also hard. It's been harder too, because like ever since all the craziness has happened at work, Brian even said, he's like, you don't really want to get up out of bed anymore, do you? Like, it's really hard for me to get out of bed now. And I'm for sure procrastinating, and I know I have to get out of bed, but I just don't want to. And thank goodness there's not an actual deadline for me to get there. Like, I can kind of get there sort of when I need to get there. So I don't feel anxiety to go to work. I just procrastinate going to work because I'm like, I don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
that's
then the procrastination. Yeah, but the procrastination for you, it sounds like, is doing something though. Like, at some point, is it your physiological self telling you to get up, or is it like, how do you actually get there then? Like, what's happening at that point?
I think at some point I've either laid in bed long enough. Like, I've got this little book now where I do these logic puzzles. I've done it long enough, or like I see that Brian's leaving and I'm like, oh, okay, Brian's leaving. I really got to get up. Like, oh, okay, fine. Like, he, I probably should have gone with him, but I really do need to get up now. There's something that, or like it's getting closer to like 9, and I'm like, okay, Megan, you really got to be in work probably by 9 at the latest, because if you're going to do 9, that's going to give you 8 hours, and then, you can leave at a reasonable time, because my work schedule technically is flexible. Because I do have to work at night sometimes. So if anybody asks me, this is what I'm going to tell them I'm doing, so it's like,
right. It's unfortunate that it's flexible for you, actually, in a way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, it's better for me to have a set, like, hey, we need things to start, like, the workday starts at 8.
Yeah.
If you get there at 8:15 or at or 7:45, like that, we don't care. Like, if it's, 30 minutes before or after or whatever, but like that's the time that you should be shooting for. I definitely on Friday, I was just like, okay, yeah, I really have to go. It's time. I have to.
I've had so many people tell me that, have like listened to our podcast, like, yeah, don't that, maybe identify as ADHD a little bit, like, don't give me a flexible time. Tell me I have to be there at a certain time. It's actually really, really hard for me. And I'm wondering if it is a little bit of the magical thinking, that you're talking about, that this procrastination thing, it's like, I feel like I'm going to feel like I want to go in an hour, and it's never true necessarily, but like you think it will be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
That's why it's like, it's a fine line when it comes to a timeline. 'Cause it's like, I need a set schedule, but I also need it to be known that it's okay that I have an ADHD brain. And so I may or may not be late or early.
Yeah. And I think it's so funny. Like, let's think about this too, like with friends, like what would be helpful or might be helpful? Like, could you say something to people that would help not have to have that pit in the stomach, but also give you kind of more structure? I don't know.
I think it's knowing with your friend. Like, for me, I would want to know, okay, at what point do you need me to contact you to let you know that I am not, like, it's going to be a struggle for me today?
Yeah.
But also, like, I kind of wonder, okay, this is again the chicken or the egg. I kind of wonder, like, what if I have that appointment, do I sleep worse? Because
especially
I know
if it's out of the routine. You know, it's interesting because I feel like with you and I, usually we've kind of had a set time, and yesterday was our time. You know, Saturday's usually our time, and I had to change it up. So I wonder if it's also like changing things, you know, like there's some element of that's like, that wasn't what I was anticipating. Not that you're mean about it or anything like that, but it's just like, that wasn't what my Sunday was going to be. And now I'm having to like adjust, and I'm having to get up at a certain, like you layer on all of these things that make it hard for you. And maybe it's like a level of difficulty. Like if we switch this, that's level of difficulty 5 versus like level of difficulty 10 or something, right? But it's not a 1. Like it's not easy for me to do this. I will do it, but this is the implications, or these are the ramifications maybe of having that adjustment. I don't know. So a few of my friends who are like very ADHD, I just don't, I always tell them, I'm like, listen, I'm in this for the long haul with you. I think you're amazing. Like if you're going to change something up or not be able to make it, like totally fine, right? Don't care. Never going to care. And because I know this doesn't come from a place of you being a jerk, you know what I mean? Or like, it's not like you're doing it on purpose. Like, it's just like, you might forget that had to go somewhere, and that's okay. Like, but I think that's a huge thing that needs to be established, is this idea of like, sometimes, I mean, and I don't know that this goes exactly to this particular thing about procrastination, but I do think that it's hard to get out the door. And if it's out of your routine, and you do have that magical thinking sometimes, and now you're half an hour late to go see your friend, and now you're feeling embarrassed because you're half an hour late and they're going to be mad at you and blah, 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 blah. You know, like it does make you not want to make an appointment.
Yeah.
Right? We've had that happen on this podcast where there was a time we said we were going to meet and it didn't happen. And then I did get frustrated at one point, you know, about that. And so we did have to kind of establish those boundaries, I think.
Yeah, we did. And I think too, like, it's so interesting. I am struggling all day to like keep a thought in my head. It's so fascinating.
I can feel it.
Okay, so I'm thinking about, we were talking about so having to switch. Normally, okay, so having to switch podcast days.
Yeah.
Don't we normally podcast like in the afternoons on Saturday?
Yeah.
I think that's really the key for me, is that I'm just not good in the mornings at all. And you can kind of feel it right now. Like I'm not awake, even though I'm awake, like my brain is not fully there, and I'm not fully pure. Yeah. My brain is like, it'd be so fascinating to go and then like do another podcast like later this afternoon
and see
the difference. Okay. But yeah, it's just so hard for me in the mornings, and I can do it. You're right. Like you're right. I can do it. But it's going to be at a cost. And I'm curious now to kind of like go back and see like, what days did we podcast in the mornings?
Yeah.
And how was I because like there's been times where we've had our people who say like, yeah, Megan just sounded really off today, you know? And it's like, yeah, because I was so off.
And that is part of the ADHD people. My butler was like out to lunch.
Well, and you know, we've kind of talked about this, like, where I don't typically make appointments in the mornings, and I don't do that even like now with my other appointments. So like I typically only make them in the afternoons, just because I know myself and I know I don't do very well. So I think there's this interesting thing of like, I'm absolutely willing to do it. yeah, things get changed, but like we need to know that if we do that, that's fine. We can do that. It's just that you're going to be, Michelle, you're going to be pushing, you're going to be lifting a lot more of the heavy lift. You're going to be, okay, you're going to be doing more of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's interesting, as you were saying that, I was actually thinking of this like just now while we were talking. I was like, oh, wow, this isn't like this podcast is not going to go where I wanted it to go. And it just can't. And I think that's for me, this idea that what I've had to learn in doing this with you is that sometimes that just has to be okay. Like it just has to be whatever it's going to be. And I think this is actually really beautiful, like what this is, which is just this idea that, you if you're stopping yourself from doing things, thinking about why you're stopping yourself from doing those things, and then what are the boundaries you might need around you to be able to do them. You know what I mean? Like this idea that, yes, I can change times, but I can't change from an afternoon to a morning, right? Like I could do that. I want to ask people to go do stuff.
I can change to a morning, but for me, it was like, I changed to a morning. I thought like, oh, I have these ideas in my mind that I could talk about because right now that's the only thing I can focus on. So it's like, if we change to a morning, then it means that you're going to have to just like kind of, okay, we were thinking about talking about this, but Megan, like, where's your brain at? Yeah. Where are you at? Yeah. It's morning. Because I had like very specific things like, okay, I know I can talk about this and I'm fascinated about this right now. But if I don't talk about those things, then like, I'm not going to be able to hold the through line, which I think we just witnessed, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, whatever it was.
Yeah. And I think what you thought you could really focus in on was this idea of this pit of anxiety.
Because that's what I had today. It's like I can focus on whatever occurred in the last hour. But like that's anything else, I don't really have the capability for anything else.
Yeah. And so like right now when you're thinking about that pit, is the pit gone now that we're here doing this? Okay.
Yeah.
And does it last the whole time, or does it like
it? No, it like once I'm kind of out of bed and doing things and then realizing like I'm doing my routine, it doesn't feel quite as pitiful.
Pitiful.
Yeah, pitiful.
Okay, but that pit in your stomach, is that like the same as you would have going on stage? Like, is it performance anxiety like similar? No.
No. Oh, no. No, the pit in my stomach. Okay, the pit, there's butterflies in my stomach when I go on stage. And I feel like I have to, I feel like I'm going to have like number 2, but squishy.
Oh, God. Okay, so you feel like you have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, but like.
Yes. God.
It's not.
And that's if you're going to go do a performance.
It's not going to be soft serve. It's going to be small.
Oh, God. Okay. No. Moving on. Can't do it. Can't do it, Megan.
Sorry, that's where I'm at. No, yeah, that's different. So
pit in your stomach
is one of the chapters in this book about TMI, like how we just like give too much information.
I haven't gotten all the way through the book yet, but I'm going to write that chapter. If it's not there, I will add to it and I will send it to her.
Yes. ADHD people should not be spies.
Okay, but my question is this, then what does the pit in the stomach feel like?
It feels very hollow. And it feels heavy. And I definitely do a quick quit when I feel it. And I think I've learned to do a quick quit because it's just too much.
So awful.
Yeah.
I was talking about anxiety today with a friend. We were going up the mountain and hiking and stuff. And I remember saying, like, I started having panic attacks when I was in Japan for the first time, and I had never really had them. Or maybe I had, but didn't know what they were called. And I remember it felt like, actually for me, it does register in my stomach. Like it does feel like in the center of my body somehow, but it feels like it can spread out further, right? And it can kind of like trap all my muscles and my mind and everything in it. And it feels very like swirly to me is how I describe anxiety. This sounds like that could be the beginnings of that, but maybe not. I don't know. Does it feel like swirly to you? Does it feel like it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like about to churning, like the churning inside of you at all? Or is it just like hollow?
No, it's hollow. I mean, it's like numb, hollow and numb, and it, because I've had that kind of panicky, like, you know, like where it just kind of starts like in the chest area and just sort of goes out through the limbs, and just you're sort of shaking, and I've had that. That's something completely different.
So this pit in your stomach is the wallet, though.
Yeah,
it's the same as the wallet. It's like, or I have to get ready to meet somebody at 10, or there's something. Okay.
I don't know why I just keep seeing like an anvil dropping. It's like dunk. Like, okay, once again, Megan, you know, it's self-loathing, I think, a lot of times. And it's based on experience, and once again, you have to get up, and like this happens to you every time. You have to get up on a Sunday and do this. You just, you know, you're not going to be ready, and you don't want to get like, you're so like, cause I'm just so happy and so comfy and snuggly in my warm bed with my puppies. And I just like, I don't want to move. And I think it's that feeling of joy and happiness that it's like, I'd have to let go of this in order to move on and to move on to the next thing. And I don't want to do it, but I know I have to. And so, Megan, how dare you not want to honor Michelle's time, because she needs to get going too. How dare you? And then that's like where the anvil drops, and it's just like, boom. Yeah, you suck. You suck.
Interesting. I'm so curious how that connects to procrastination for you. Like, is that why you're procrastinating? Because you don't want to leave the magical world you're in? Or is it procrastination in your mind? Is it even connected?
I mean, I don't know if I would have called it procrastination, but it's definitely like putting something off. So that is, I think, the definition of procrastination.
I think that is. I think actually. I was putting stuff off. Yes.
That might be like the, you know, Oxford Dictionary definition.
Yes.
But there is, so it's interesting you mentioned the magical world, because that, as a kid, I did not want to leave that world. Because that world was so much happier than the real world. And my little happiness bubble with the puppies, like, I don't want to leave it, because like, I know, it's just like, I hate brushing my teeth, and we've talked about this on multiple podcasts. Like, I hate doing all of these things, and I know I have to go do them. And why can't I just stay in my magical little bubble with my puppies all morning and just do whatever I want to do? So yeah, I think there is a big part of it that, like, it's not wanting to leave my magical world. And
it's interesting. It's like you don't want to have to leave the divergent. Like we talked about that before. Like you don't want to leave the divergent world to the convergent world. Like you don't want to have to be linear, maybe.
Yeah, no, because I do. I have to then like go and brush my teeth and I have like a routine, and like as good as routines are, they're stifling. This is where I'm a conundrum, right? I understand this. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm telling somebody I work with, I need a schedule, but don't hold me to the schedule. Right? Like, what is that about? You know, so it's like, I want to stay in my little world. I know I need to clean, like to do I want to get ready for the day, but don't tell me how to get ready for the day. But also I need to be told how to get ready for the day. Otherwise I'll forget how to get told for the ready for the day. It's a hot mess. I like the way that you say it, that I'm in my divergent world and I don't want to go into the convergent world.
Yeah.
I like that. That feels like it's nicer.
Yeah.
than I'm a hot
that's what
mess.
I'm saying. Yeah. Like I do. I think you're like in your little, one of my friends down the hallway, she calls it her broccoli brain, because her thoughts go like all over, and she sees it as like a broccoli. And I think that's
cute.
a great way of describing it. But it's like you're in your little broccoli brain of like, oh, you get to just enjoy or sense or be or whatever, and nobody's asking you to do anything else. And then now I have to get up and try to be linear.
Yeah.
And I know that's hard. And I don't, even seeing a friend is going to require me to have convergent thinking to get there. And as much as I love my friend, I don't know if I have that energy to do that today.
Yeah, because like there are some days that I don't brush my teeth until like 2:00 in the afternoon, if 2:00 in the afternoon.
Sure.
Yeah. So like if I have to physically go see somebody, hopefully you have mints in your car. But there are these social expectations, right?
Yeah.
These linear societal expectations, and it's just like,
Well, it's interesting to me because I think the way she wrote it was like this idea that somehow, she says, I don't feel like doing that right now. And that you imagine this magical time when you're going to feel like doing it. It sounds to me like you don't actually think that very often. You don't think there's going to be this magical time you're going to want to do it always.
I think that's come with age. And I think that has come with therapy.
Knowing yourself.
Therapy and recognizing that, I just know myself. I do the magical time. Like, okay, I so want to learn, like to get stronger physically. And I feel like there's going to be this magical time that I'm going to be like, yeah, I want to sit in that chair and try chair yoga. But it never comes, like, I'm like, there's going to be this magical time that I want to like put my swimsuit on and then go down and swim. Yeah. But it never happens, So I no, there is that magical thinking was it magical thinking we were just talking about?
Yeah.
No, that for sure resonates with me. Like I see that. I mean, that's the same thing with like my memorabilia. It was like, there's going to be this magical time when like it all is going to come together and I'm going to want to work on it. And if it wasn't for the fact that we just put the book out and made a space for it, I wouldn't be working on it.
Right.
Because in my mind, there was going to be this magical time that it all just made sense. And I'm just going to want to work on it. And I'm going to nonstop work on it. But I wonder if that's because I have these like very intense focused times where like I do want to work on something and then I just can't stop. And so maybe in my mind, I think like I'm going to have that moment where like I want to work on this and I'm going to
feel that way at least.
Yeah, it's going to feel that way. And then, but I know that if it feels that way, that I'm going to work on it for like 2 weeks straight and I'll get it finally done. But I won't go to the bathroom. I won't drink anything. I won't eat anything. I won't see anybody and I'm going to smell terrible, but it will be done.
But it'll be finished. It's interesting. I think that the next time we talk, we'll be talking a little bit about perfectionism as well. And I think this idea that I think we probably need to circle back on this and kind of like look at this chapter as a whole. Because I think when you like isolate things like procrastination, it really depends on what you're talking about. It depends on what experience and what example. And I know from my perspective, the procrastination, I really identified with the idea that I thought I was going to write a better paper if I waited till the end. You don't identify with that at all. And yet the procrastination piece still is in your life in a different way, right? Yeah. And so it's interesting. I think that there's more to talk about with this one. And I love that Brian, your husband, said that after 60-something episodes that we still have stuff to talk about. And I think it's so true that we keep finding things. I think one of the things I think that's been useful for us strategy-wise with this particular situation is which I don't even know if there is a particular situation we talked about today. I think there's like a million. But one of the things with at least meeting people that I think is helpful is to let people know that your brain you wake up with may not be the brain you went to bed with. And how lovely that is to explain that to people who don't understand that. Because that was really helpful for me when you told me that. It was very helpful to be like, oh, because I can pretty much count on the brain. And not always, right? And especially as I get older, it's different. But I wake up kind of with a similar level of motivation. I wake up with, like a lot of things are much more regulated in my brain that I never even have to think about, which is, yours isn't that way. And that was really helpful to say, like, your brain's not broken. It's just maybe, in
It
a
just
different
functions
gear.
differently.
Yeah. Different
Well,
gear
and I wonder,
or a different, focus area or whatever.
yeah. And I wonder if like the stress, like if my brain processes stress differently, especially at night, because that's been so fascinating wearing my watch to bed. Like I force myself to like charge it before I go to bed so that I can then wear it. And that's a whole other thing. But I find it's like, so yesterday, like last night, obviously this whole thing was kind of, I was actually a little stressed out before I went to bed, now that I'm thinking about it, because I was like double checking with Brian. I'm like, okay, so when are we going to cutesy fartsy? Because okay, I'm going to get up and then Michelle and I will work. And I was like kind of walking through like the thing in my mind. And then I didn't sleep well. So I wonder if like my brain is processing, because I know the brain processes things when you're asleep. Like it processes the day.
Yeah.
It kind of wipes through all that stuff. And so maybe my brain just deals with it differently at night, which is why I don't know if I'm going to wake up with the same brain. It's fascinating.
It really is.
Makes me want to like, me, I'm finding my patterns. Like it makes me want to keep gathering
track
data
of it. Yeah.
See, can I just say the other issue, Michelle? I love finding patterns and I love gathering data. But if I had to write it down,
you just need your watch. You need your watch data to like keep it for you, right?
I think it. Yeah, but the thing is, okay, I still need a way to recognize that there was something emotionally going on. So it's almost like that's why it's kind of interesting to have this podcast, because it's like there's a diary. It's like there's a recording of what happened. So
we can at least know this day.
Yes. Will you remind me that if I talk about this again, that I've talked about it before?
I will do my best.
Well, don't you write stuff down for me? Like,
yes,
aren't you always writing things down?
I do. Yes, I will write it down. Oh, I love you, Meg.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Spicy Brain Podcast, brought to you by Spicy Brain Studios. We're continuing our series focusing around the book Your Brain is Not Broken, Strategies for Navigating Your Emotions in Life with ADHD by Tamara Rosier, PhD. We hope you enjoyed us navigating our neurodivergent brains through curiosity, joy, and a radical acceptance. Please take a moment to share the episode with someone you think could benefit from the conversation, because sharing the episode really helps us build new episodes and create even better content for you. Also, don't forget to follow us on whatever platform you're listening to so that you can get notified each week, because next week we will dive into perfectionism. And if you just thought in your brain, well, I've never done anything perfect in my life, then you might be a perfectionist. So tune in next week to find out if you are, in fact, a perfectionist. But until then, here's to a great end of the week, and remember to stay curious.